Alright guys, it's been a long time since I did an Omnibus review. I didn't do any this year, 2024, because I was taking a little bit of break of reading such big books and kind of being more into gaming, but I am back reading omnibuses, and I did read a few this year, so let's catch up on the ones I did read and the ones I will be reading for the rest of the year. And we're going to start with Predator, the Original Years Omnibus Volume 2. And as you can see, this is the second and final volume of the Original Years. Now, I reviewed all of the Alien ones, and I reviewed the Predator first volume, so I was really excited to get this one because I actually really enjoyed Volume 1 of Predator, the Original Years. So if you haven't checked that review out, check that out first and see why I enjoyed it so much. And let's hop right into this one. And this one collects Hell and Hot Water storyline, which is 3 issues, Primal, which is a 2-issue series, Nemesis, which is a 2-issue series, Hell Come A Walking, which is a 2-issue series, Captive, which is a 1-shot, Homeworld, which is a 4-issue series, and Xenogenesis, which is also kind of a crossover, I believe, of Dark Horse's Heroes with the Predator. So that consumes the 90s storylines, which is quite a lot because it was from 1997 to 1999. And then we have a really big gap, a 10-year gap before we get Predator, and that's a 4-issue series. Predators, which is based off of the movie, which is a 4-issue series. Beating the Bullet, which is a 1-shot, Preserve the Game, which is a 1-shot, Hunters, which is then 7 years later in 2017, that's a 5-issue series, Hunters 2, which is a 4-issue series, and then what comes after that? Hunters 3, which is a 4-issue series, and concludes the entire book because that is 2020, and then as you know, Marvel got the rights to the Predator series. So, let's talk about this book and if it's worth picking up like the first volume. Alright, as I'm flipping through this, the one thing you'll probably notice that I always enjoy with all the Predator series, or even Alien books, is that there's so many different designed Predators. And of course in this one we get some wicked designs. The first half of this book is the 90s, so you get these extremely big bulky Predators, but that works because Predators are hunters, they're scary, they chase you, and they murder you. So big bulking ones are pretty fucking scary if you ask me. So I really enjoyed the designs of the Predators. The first storyline is mostly about in the water, and this water type Predator, I guess you can say, or has a helmet that can breathe underwater. It's a cool premise, but like a lot of series in this book, and I'm unfortunately going to spoil a little bit, it is one note because the characters are just fucking bland. So the Predators are cool, the kills are cool, but this overall story is okay. And that unfortunately follows a lot of the stories in it. So with the 90s, there is one story that I did enjoy, which is them kind of hunting the Predator in a way, or the Predator hunting them in a more safari-like area. You got a big bear who's fucking around with this Predator. This Predator's like, I'm gonna kill you, bear. But the bear's like, no, I'm gonna kill you. And that bear kind of puts in work, messing up this Predator pretty good. So I gotta say that I enjoyed this storyline because it felt the most natural storytelling of how Predator is in this kind of safari-like place, almost like Prey, where it's not just the humans he has an obstacle to get over, but also the animals in this kingdom. So I really enjoyed this storyline. This is probably the best of the 90s set of stories. And then as we progress, we do get some other little minor ones. There's a black and white story that's pretty good as well. So overall, all the stories of the 90s are pretty good. Nothing to really talk about in terms of characters though, because most of them fucking suck, if I'm going to be honest. Then we get to probably the worst story in the entire book, the Xenogenesis, whatever you want to call it, storyline, which again, I don't know much about Dark Horse's superheroes, but it feels like this is Dark Horse's superhero team that is crossing over with Predator. Now, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, please put in the comments telling me, no, James, this is not the fucking Neo-Genesis superheroes. It's just a Predator story with these superhero-like people in space. If that's true, just tell me that. I don't know. But anyway, for me, it felt like a crossover. Now, this was not good. Woo. This was like the worst 90s traits in a superhero comic mixed with a Predator who can't be unleashed, who can't murder them like he should, because Predators killing superheroes would be really fucking cool. But now, this is really a tame Predator story with superhero characters. Now, there are some deaths in it. I'm not saying there's none, but no one gives a shit. That's my problem with most of this book. None of these characters, and these characters I'm assuming are superheroes, really fucking sucks. So this storyline was a big drag to get through. I was having a really hard time staying awake, if I'm going to be honest. Now, there's one storyline I do want to talk about. It's a one-shot. It's Captive. Now, this storyline is what I like from Predator. Again, the characters are nothing to write home about, but the fact that the Predator feels like a goddamn beast, and has his back against the wall because he's captured in this dome-like thing, and it's almost like Jurassic World where they keep this humongous fucking Predator in a dome, and eventually he ain't going to take that shit. So all these humans are fucking around with this Predator, trying to study it, and of course he doesn't like that, and when they get too close, well, he's going to do some work. So it was only a one-shot, and maybe because it is a one-shot, I thought it was really well done. So this is the best of the 90s series for sure. Then we take a 10-year hiatus because I guess they were running out of ideas for Predator stories, and we jump into Predator 2009. Now, this storyline kind of wanted to rejuvenate the interest in the Predator, so you got some wicked designs. It's all like black-suited Predator. Oh man, this stuff is badass. I love the designs in this story, and I will say the action takes a nice step up. It's brutal, it's fast, it's ripping off heads, it's shooting people up. So all of that's great in this story, but again, the characters are so one-note. I swear to God, if you ask me, hey dude, what's the name of the main character? I'll be like, I don't know, some blonde guy or some black guy. That's all I can remember from this story. That's the problem with the characters. They don't stick at all. So the action's great. The designs are the best. I love this design in this story. Everything else, though, So then we get into the tie-ins for the Predators movie. I don't know if you guys watched it, probably if you're watching this video. So this is kind of cool because you get a prequel, the story of the movie, and then a slight sequel, which is just like, I think, a one-shot. But overall, this was kind of a cool retelling of the movie. The prequel, I guess you can say, serves the story, but it really didn't do much for me. It gave some background to our main character and other characters, and how the Predators were dealing with the humans before the group from the Predators movie got there. So all of that was kind of cool, and the sequel was a nice, like, giving us a little bit more, because the way the Predators movie ended, we're never getting another one of those. So I like that part of it. But overall, I would say that, you know, it's not must read, but it's not bad. It's one of the better stories in this in terms of characters, because we got the characters from the movie. And then after that, we jump into the three-parter, which just kind of ends the entire Dark Horse series, which is Hunters, Hunters 2, and Hunters 3. Now, Hunters, the original storyline, I believe it's 2017, not too bad. You get a decent character for once. He's kind of a survivalist. He just has to survive against Predator. He does. And then, of course, this organization's like, come on, you're coming with us because you survived. Now we want you to tell us how to kill these things. So I do like the idea of this. I think it's a well-structured idea of, like, having a person who's been with these things and survived to kind of help others in this group learn how to kill them. But then you learn that all of these people have some type of interaction with the Predator. So I thought it was a cool storyline overall. One of the stronger ones in the entire book. But again, when the characters start getting picked off, I'm just like, I don't really give a shit. Now, the kills are cool. The Predators, again, look really fucking cool. This is my second favorite design in the whole book. So the original Predator from 2009, I really like that, like, all black look is awesome. But here they look pretty cool. Not as cool, but still pretty cool. And then you get Predator, or Hunters 2 and 3, which is just a continuation, bringing some of the characters from the first one. But holy shit, how much can you drag out this story? I mean, Predators Hunters wasn't like the greatest story on the face of this earth, and then you have 2 sequels, and each one progressively getting worse storyline wise. Is really a rough way to finish out this omnibus. Now, I know I sound like I'm complaining a lot, and I am, because the stories aren't that great in here. There's very few that I would even reread. Saying that, art-wise, this is pretty good. I mean, yes, they have the 90s art that is over the top, but it actually works. Besides Neo Genesis, which I think is the worst story in this entire fucking book, and if they took it out, maybe it would have raised my rating. But overall, the art's pretty solid, especially from 2009 onward with the Predator story. Everything looks pretty good. Even the movie tie-in looks pretty good. And the Hunters, complaining about the storylines, all 3 of those storylines, ugh, but the fucking art, ooh, ooh, ooh. You know what that means? Hot, hot, hot. I really like the designs. I can't get over it. And the kills are really cool by the end. So overall, the art is really good in this book. I have really no complaints about that. And that is really the only thing that's saving this from being like a bottom tier, like 1.5. 2, because the storylines are not good. So I'm going to move it to a 2.5 because art alone saves this from being in the ones. But the storyline wise, I gotta be honest, this isn't some hot stuff. This is actually pretty weak overall, with the exception of a couple stories like Captive or the Hunter storyline being okay. But everything else in this storyline wise is a failure, especially compared to Volume 1, which I think actually had some really strong stories, especially in the second half. So, should you pick it up? Well, as a Predator fan, if you love Predator, I think it's worth picking up for the art alone. It's a really cool book to flip through. I like showcasing it to my wife, the different Predator designs. I took pictures to send to friends. So all of that I thought was worth it. And that alone, I'm a huge Alien and Predator fan, so I was going to pick this up regardless. But in comparison, it is very similar to Aliens 2 and 3 Omnibus, where it has ideas, but none of it comes together. So it's definitely a failure when it comes to being a great follow-up to the great first volume of Predator. So if anything, pick up Predator Omnibus Volume 1 100% right now. This one, pick up if you're a huge Predator fan. That's about all I can say for this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, it's a 2.5 out of 5, so not great. It's I guess you could say middle line, but on the weaker end. Art saves this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button. As always, that means a lot to me. That means you like these videos. I will make more. If you love my stuff, hit the subscribe, because I do want to do more omnibuses, but I also do a lot of nerdy stuff on video games, comic books, and so much more. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and go enjoy reading some awesome comic books. Oh, and Marvel, give us the fucking Alien vs. Omnibus goddamn right now. I'm gonna fuck you up if you don't.